What's going on, guys? It is Fox89 here. Welcome back to a brand new video for you guys today here on my channel. Today we're back with my F1 2016 Career Mode Season 6 now, Part 16 here for the Malaysian Grand Prix. If you do enjoy today's video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel already. And without further ado, let's get into this. So, we're doing pretty well in the driver's standings overall, which we will show in just a moment's time. And we get to, as you can see, we have an 86-point lead in the championship, which is a very big points advantage. However, of course, we've still got plenty of races to go. Who knows what could happen? So we still can't be comfortable until we are guaranteed to be world champion. And that's the same for the Constructors' Championship, with only 76 points separating me and Williams. And of course, if you bring in a bad race for me and Rosberg and a 1-2 for the Williams drivers, that's 43 points gone already. So we definitely are not comfortable in both championships until we get across the lines. We just need to keep scoring as many points as we possibly can. Moving on then into the track acclimatization test, of course, we always do this one with the hard tyres, obviously here around Malaysia. Wasn't a massive fan of the hard tyres. Of course, I only did the lap on them in the track acclimatization. But moving on though into the tyre wear test, and we managed to get onto the softer tyres, which were an absolute joy to drive. I like the soft tyres because they actually have grip, unlike the hard tyres, which is probably why in real life they're not taking the hard tyres at all for the rest of this season, because they're just ridiculous and stupid and have no grip. So that's probably something they're doing that for. As you can see then, we're collecting our resource points though nonetheless, taking them all as we don't really need to upgrade the car. There's nothing to do on it. I mean, you know, I want to keep it as it is, to be honest, as Williams is the quickest car, because at least then they'll still be able to challenge me and Nico. So I'm keeping it as it is. So I've recorded a few episodes ahead, so I'll probably end up just ceasing R&D, or maybe at the very last round, just chuck them all on and see what happens. But moving on then into qualifying, Felipe Massa's qualified on the medium compound tyres, and we come across the line to set a 134.9, which was obviously quicker than Felipe, but a very nice cautious lap there, nothing too crazy, nice and cautious. And as you can see, Bottas sets a 133.7, really setting the benchmark there for qualifying, as I'm basically just sort of relaxed in this session. Of course, I don't really go for it in Q1 and Q2. In Q3 is when I lower the fuel loads and absolutely go crazy. But round the final corner, we come here into Q2. Felipe Massa, of course, is the leader so far, who set the provisional pole lap here. But we're going to come across the line and set a 134.2, which was 0.2 slower than Felipe Massa. So a lot of improvements there from myself as we make our way round the first corner once again here. As you can see, Rosberg actually went a little bit quicker, so we're 0.3 off the pace. So not too bad there at all as we're moving on into Q3, with Valtteri Bottas being the odd one out, starting on the medium compound tyres for this Grand Prix, which is pretty interesting. Into Q3 we go then, and unfortunately this lap was nothing actually spectacular. In fact, it basically was kind of bad, unfortunately. Bottas comes across the line and sets a 133.6, which was a stunning lap from him. Unfortunately, I could only do a 134.1, and it wasn't enough, basically. Unfortunately for me, it's only going to be 5th place and nearly 6/10 pretty much off of my teammate Rosberg's pace. Now, unfortunately, both Massa, Bottas and Rosberg all managed to get into the 33s. Not once in qualifying did I make able to get into the 33s. I did a 134.9, a 34.2, and then a 34.1. Only very small improvements for qualifying, but I hope that hopefully the race pace is better. Tends to normally be better, so we shouldn't really struggle on that aspect in terms of the race pace. But hopefully we can, you know, we just need to pull something out of the bag now. Really sit down, really focus in this Grand Prix. And the only really odd driver out is Sebastian Vettel. If we get stuck behind Vettel, we're going to be in a bit of trouble. So into turn 1, we need to get past Vettel and just hope that we can basically keep track with Bottas and Rosberg and Massa. If we can keep track with them, even take the leads, who knows? You know, I'm always pretty punchy in the first few laps before it all settles down. So hopefully in that stage where everyone's trying to settle in and I'm really, really punchy off the start. Because if you guys are, you should already know by now, but in terms of me and how I race, I'm very, very punchy on the start. And that's where my victories mostly come, because I start down the order. It's either on strategy that I've done these victories, or just on the start is where I'm absolutely flying. But looking through the grid then, you can see it's kind of a bog standard grid. It's what we've always had. Esteban Gutierrez, Magnussen, Jolyon Palmer qualifying very far down, just as usual. Kvyat, Haryanto, Ericsson, Sainz, Verline, and Nasser. Starting from the back, 3 seconds off the pace. Wow, the Saubers and Manners are crap. Rip Manor. We love you, man. If you want to come back to Formula 1, you're more than welcome. But moving on then into the race then, we're going to be doing a 2-stop strategy. And unfortunately, it's the hard tyres that are going to be needed for us, which is a bit of a shame, but the grip isn't that bad with the hard tyres. I kind of over-exaggerated with the hard tyre grip. It's not the best, especially around like the likes of Japan. That's where the hard tyres kind of suck, but around Malaysia, it's okay. It's manageable. It's not terrible on in this track. We're on the formation lap now. Here for the race, we've got 5 red lights here for the Malaysian Grand Prix, and it is lights out. There we go for the Malaysian Grand Prix. It's been a decent start actually from Nico Rosberg on pole. Great start from him. We're going to tag into the slipstream though. Felipe Massa, Vettel trying to have a look at Bottas here, so Vettel getting punchy off the start. We're going to break nice and late down the inside, take on Vettel, get past Massa and Valtteri Bottas, slot ourselves into second place. A fantastic start from this Grand Prix, and we are right behind Rosberg in a Mercedes 1-2. Now I can potentially be a little bit of a cork in the bottle for the Williams cars as Rosberg pulls away, but I've actually got a great drive out of 3 and up into turn 4. I'm actually going to go for the lead here, and down the inside of Nico Rosberg, we make that move stick here and up into the lead of the Malaysian Grand Prix. A perfect start, exactly what we wanted. Now we can control the race. Now we can race at our speed and keep the drivers behind us at all costs here. Moving on to lap 5 of the Grand Prix now. Unfortunately, nothing actually happened in the first stint here, but you can see the tyres are going off very badly, and it's time to make our very first pit stop of this Grand Prix. Rosberg behind was quite quick, but he just wasn't catching in the DRS zone, which is quite interesting. Bottas on the mediums was definitely a man to watch out for. Jeff there telling me to do a 3-stop and do soft, medium, hard, whereas I'm actually going to do the hard tyres. As you can see, the top 4 there, all the title rivals, the 2 Mercs and the 2 Williams, all in one panning shot there. Really good stuff there as we now come in for our first pit stop. Felipe Massa is going to follow us in as well now as we slow down to the marker there as there's those marshals just having a conversation. They're probably talking about what they're going to have for lunch later or for dinner, whatever they want. As you can see though, we're going to put on the hard tyres, and we are going to get held up unfortunately by Sebastian Vettel in the pits, which is very annoying for us. Felipe Massa actually got held in the pits, and he actually got held for us. So really lucky there that even though Sebastian held us up in the pits, Massa got held in the pits by us. Otherwise, he would have jumped us in the pit stops, and that would have made me very, very angry. But coming out of the pits now, Massa has definitely closed the gap on us in the pit phases. But unfortunately, we've just come out of a lot of traffic here. We've got 2 Saubers and a Manor involved in this. And we're going to go down the inside here. We actually get tapped. Oh, we've lost the back end of the car there, getting tapped by whoever is the Sauber behind us. Gave us a little tap on the rear, sort of pushed us forward a bit, and then we hit the back of the other Manor and nearly went spinning around there. And we're going to take no prisoners here. Down the inside of both the that's Rio Haryanto and the Manor, and it was Ericsson that tapped us on the back, who then pushed us into Nasser slightly. But luckily for us, we've now created a bit of a buffer as Felipe Nasser, Marcus Ericsson, and Rio Haryanto are both going to hold up Massa, Vettel, and the others behind. You can already see on the minimap the train that started to form between them, which means now that we've got this entire middle sector to ourselves, and we can just pull away off into the distance. So very lucky there that we managed to get in front of those, and we had to make that move into turn 4. Otherwise, we would have had to have waited the whole middle sector, and again, it would have held us up, just like they are getting held up now. And you can already see that the gap between myself and Haryanto is 1.7 seconds. So already, the gap between me and Felipe Massa, in effect, is 1.7 seconds, and that's just after one sector. As you can see then, Rosberg has come into the pits for his first stop, but unfortunately, it looks like he's come into the pits pretty quickly. Now, of course, they were quicker than me, Bottas and Rosberg, in the first stint-ish. I mean, they were keeping up with me, but unfortunately, obviously, didn't have the cleanest of outlaps. We got hit on the side, and that lost us a lot of time here as we go very wide, nearly go into the back of Kvyat there, but it's going to give us a great run out of the exit of this corner now, and as you can see, we are going to be using DRS. No, we're not going to be using DRS. Unfortunately, it's not been enabled for us. So we're just going to have to go on pure straight line speed. And we do that as there's a Haas in the pits. As I selected the wrong car. Into turn 1 we go now. And that is us comfortably up in the positions. But as you can see there's Sainz. That's Rosberg in front. And Bottas is just the car in front of Rosberg. So both Valtteri Bottas and Nico Rosberg, by staying out that extra lap, have actually indeed got the jump on us, which is pretty frustrating. And of course, Massa is still stuck in the traffic with the 2 Saubers and the Manor. So that gap is at least nearly 4 seconds now already. So Massa's race being ruined, and it looks like we could be going for a 3-way fight for the win of this Grand Prix as we look to try and close on to Carlos Sainz. Of course, Toro Rosso, one of the slowest teams on the grid in this career mode. Unfortunately, development not working for them now as we come through the second set of right-handers now, and we're going to pull out towards the inside line here and go down the inside of Carlos Sainz. Very, very simple move there. Which is perfect for us. As you can see further in front, we've actually got Bottas now battling, I believe that's Magnussen for a position. So Bottas trying to make his way through the grid, and lovely overtake there from Valtteri as Rosberg now flying through on Kevin Magnussen. Let's see what Rosberg can do on the Danish man himself. Yeah, I probably said that wrong. Hopefully I haven't. But as you can see, the Williams car and Rosberg are on the hard tyres, just like myself. So Rosberg here with some DRS. Magnussen has got DRS as well with Valtteri Bottas, but Rosberg easily going to get there. Okay, never mind. I was about to say easily get this move done, but he decided that he didn't want to make the overtake. Got a bit scared, I think. As Bottas now, with all of this going on for Rosberg, Bottas is just starting to pull away into the distance, and there's me just behind. I'm catching them, but I need a little bit more traffic, and hopefully that Haas car in front can be the traffic man that I need. Into turn 1, Rosberg makes a move stick on Kevin Magnussen. Very good overtake there from Rosberg. DRS slipstream and Mercedes powered car there. Definitely going to work for him, as you can see. Back on board myself now. And as you can see, we're trying to catch up to Magnussen. We've got a great drive. Once again, we've got a fantastic drive out of turn 3. And that's really going to help us here. And I'm just going to do what Rosberg can't do, and that's make a braking move down the inside. And there you go. Down the inside of Kevin Magnussen. And look at that. The Haas car is in front of Rosberg and also of Valtteri Bottas. So that's really useful for myself here. So that means that we get the chance to close up very much so in this middle section. You can see them battling in front. So we just need to be patient now, wait for them to start going side by side, and that's where the gains will really start to come in here, as Valtteri Bottas now with a great drive here down the inside into the hairpin now on Gutierrez, makes the move stick here, but Gutierrez, being the lad that he is going to stick it round the outside, give Bottas a little squeeze there, nice little love tap there, but Bottas manages to make that move stick, and now the Gutierrez has succumbed to the position, and Rosberg is next to attack the Mexican driver, who is no longer in Formula 1 no more, but he is in this career mode. And look at that, we are now right on the back of them. So now it's going to be, look at that, we're so close to Rosberg now. We've been closing this entire time with that free air, and with them having some traffic, it's not helping them at all, as Rosberg's going to go for it down the inside. And do you know what, I'll go down the inside of the pair of them. Why not? Just do them both there. That sounded really wrong, but we're carrying on with now, and the Haas car coming into the pits there, so we don't need to worry about him, as it's now a straight drag race between me and Rosberg. DRS is going to be enabled, and you can see we got the better drive than Rosberg, and we are into a net P2 now with my rival Valtteri Bottas in front. And I don't really want Bottas to be there. We've got a great drive though. For some reason we're on fire in this stage of the Grand Prix. All the traction is there for us at the moment, and as you can see, we've got a fantastic drive again from turn 3. Bottas is very close to us, and I think it's time for a little bit of a mini dive bomb here. In fact, it is down the inside of Bottas. He does turn in on us, but he gives us the space, and that is us back up into a net P1 in this Malaysian Grand Prix. Some great driving there. Now we need to get past Julian Palmer, which shouldn't be that easy, because I would have thought in about 2 or 3 lap time he'll retire from this race with either a failure on his car or him crashing into a wall after turning left and saying that it was a steering wheel fault. But anyway, as you can see, DRS is enabled for both Bottas and Rosberg, but I've got the slipstream of Palmer, so that means that I'm still getting good straight line speed. I don't necessarily need to worry about them. And look at that, out of the final corner, we've got again a much better drive than the Williams car of Bottas. Rosberg is in the slipstream, and as you can see here, we're going to pull out on Julian Palmer and go down the inside of Julian, who does try and stick it around the outside a little bit. But unfortunately, it's just no point fighting. He's in the Renault, and it's not exactly the quickest car on the grid. And we managed to make that move stick, and we can carry on our way. On to lap 13 of the Grand Prix now. Valtteri Bottas and Rosberg are back on my tail again, and this time they wanted a little bit of revenge after they got overtaken by me, and they want to try and get the move done here. So as you can see now, Bottas has opened the DRS, Rosberg too has opened the DRS, and flying through now. We're going to be defending deep to the outside line, but Bottas here is going to flip through. He's hit the back of my car though, and there's a bit of front wing that just decided to ice skate across the track there. So Bottas losing a bit of front wing here, as now it's going to be a straight drag race here down this back straight, or the pit straight even, with Rosberg and Bottas having slipstream and DRS, and me just having to use the raw power of my Merc and hoping for the best here. 3 wide, Rosberg and Bottas going side by side. Bottas locks up a little bit, but down the inside we managed to make that move stick, and the 3 title rivals clashing here in the Malaysian Grand Prix, and it's all action here at this race. But you can see we've run a little bit wide here. Bottas has got a good drive actually out of turn 3, a much better drive than myself here. Might go for it actually into turn 4, really close to us here. Unfortunately though, there's not enough time unfortunately for Bottas to get the move done. Further on into the Grand Prix, it seems that the front wing damage that Bottas took actually cost him quite badly, and he was dropping off the pace rapidly. Rosberg decided this was a great opportunity to get past, and Bottas got the move done here. Sorry, Rosberg got the move done on Valtteri Bottas. Bottas losing even more time, so it seems that Valtteri in this stage of the race is struggling with that front wing damage, and that has cost him dearly. On to lap 16 of the Grand Prix now, and we're actually, I believe, coming in for our second pit stop of the Grand Prix as Rosberg looks to make the overtake, but it's not going to be, because we're going to be coming in for our second pit stop of the Grand Prix to go onto the hard tyres, which will take us towards the end of the race. Only 12 laps, I think it is, so it's not too bad there. We can take those to the end of the race. Maybe if we carried on a little bit longer, we could have gone onto the mediums, but I actually didn't mind the hard tyres in this race. I know a lot of people complain about hard tyres in Formula 1. In real life, they suck, but for some reason this Malaysian Grand Prix, there's Massa coming into the pit, so you can see how much time he's lost. He's only just entering his pit box as we're now coming to the end of the pit lane, so really bad race for Massa there, but I don't know what it is, but I just really like the hard tyres. I felt like they gave me a lot of grip, and I got very good drive out of a lot of the corners, and I was pretty quick on them, so we're going to stick to it, and we're going to carry on our way now here on lap 17, and see what inroads we can make, as Bottas is next, and then Nico Rosberg, but of course they have not stopped, and we need to make sure that we're in front of them. On to lap 18 of the Grand Prix, and we are in front of Nico Rosberg and Bottas as Ericsson retires from the Grand Prix here with an engine failure, and you're going to see it there right now. Fortunately, the engine fails on his car, and that is him out of the Grand Prix, unfortunately, for Marcus Ericsson. As you can see, cars slowing down there for him. On further on to lap 19, and as you can see, me and Rosberg are having a very close together. Valtteri Bottas, I can confirm, actually changed for a new front wing after he drove into the back of us. So that's put him out of contention here, and it's now a straight fight between the two Merc drivers here. Rosberg with some DRS here is going to go and to try and take the inside line here. He is going to go for it this time, and down the inside, Nico Rosberg makes a mistake. We're going to try and hang it around the outside, but Rosberg literally gets a very good drive out of that corner. Now we're just going to have to stick into the slipstream with Nico Rosberg. I know he's got DRS, but the slipstream is going to be a lot more powerful than just some straight DRS, and we're going to stay right in that slipstream for as long as we can. Pull out at the very last second here, and down the inside of Nico Rosberg, we can defend from him very comfortable there, and as you can see, coming through into turn 2, and now through turn 3, we are in front of Nico for the time being, and we can try and get on with this race now, as it's going to be a very close finish, and this could allow Bottas to close in on us after his front wing change. You might just know, you can't see him in the camera shot, okay, he's a lot further back than we can here, into turn 4, we've gone very wide though, on the exit of the corner here, and Rosberg now is going to get a great drive out of here. We're going to go side by side through 5 and 6, just like the Red Bulls did, flying through here, and Rosberg, who's going to back out of it first, who's got the bigger balls, round the outside we go, and that is just comfortably through Nico Rosberg for a super close battle there, side by side through 5 and 6, just like Verstappen and Ricciardo did last year as well, after Hamilton retired from the Grand Prix with an engine failure. And now down into this hairpin, Rosberg's going to try it round the outside, but it's not going to work for him. He's going to have to wait a little bit longer for that move, and as you can see, that time is about now for Nico. As we continue on our way, we're going to defend heavily to the outside here to just basically stop the slipstream for Rosberg, and into the hairpin we go now. Nico is still right behind us. You can see him there on the rear diffuser. Look how close he is, and he's got a good drive actually, a great exit from Rosberg now. Slipstream and DRS, this is going to really help Rosberg here. He's going to go to the inside line. We're going to squeeze him very wide there, a little bit aggressive for myself, but you can see the two Williams cars further back though, and into the first corner we go. Rosberg makes it stick, but we're going to hang it around the outside, and then we're going to get the inside into turn 2, and we're going to claim the position back from Rosberg there. And that is us comfortably up back into the lead of the Grand Prix. But we can't keep fighting for too long, because those Williams cars are very close, and they might even try and steal this race win. In fact, they're 7 seconds back now, so maybe we've got 7 laps to go, so who knows if we keep fighting as the way we are, as we're coming now through into this difficult complexes of corners now, into this high-speed middle sector. We've actually gone a little bit wide here now into this corner. We've actually gone very wide here, losing the back end of the car here. Rosberg's going to go, no! Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Oh my god, as you can see, we're out of the, well, there's no other way of saying that, we're out of the race here. Into this difficult high-speed corner, we just carried too much speed, got on the grass, losing the back end of the car, and Rosberg gives us a shunt there on the rear, and that's our... We were doing so well in this Grand Prix. We were battling really hard. It was one of my most fun Grand Prix. I had so much fun battling Rosberg and battling Bottas, and one mistake, we ran wide and we got onto the grass, just lost all grip, and it's a very high-speed section. We came back onto the circuit and Rosberg basically smacked into our wheel and we're out of the race. I can't blame Rosberg for that one, unfortunately. That was all my fault. I was carrying a bit too much speed. You could see that the understeer was there. I broke a little bit more. The car was coming back to me and I put the power down a bit more again and the car just went off again. So I just didn't quite have that corner set up, and yeah, I went off the track, lost a lot of time, lost some grip, came back onto the track, and Rosberg basically clattered my wheel. I can't blame Rosberg. I mean, I could potentially say, yeah, Rosberg just smacked me off. I mean, he didn't exactly give me enough room, didn't give me a lot of room to get back on track, but, you know, I was out of control. I had no grip, so, yeah, but that is really, really annoying. And unfortunately, that's our second DNF of the season, so that's really annoying. But I'm gutted about that, actually. But anyway, here is the full race results. So Rosberg wins the race from Massa, who actually overtook Bottas, which is kind of useful for us in terms of the driver standings. But as you can see there, Ericsson, Grosjean, and myself are the retirees from this Grand Prix, with Vettel and Alonso finishing in the top 5. In the driver standings, the gap is now cut down to 71 points in the championship standings. Very annoyed about that, but what can you do? And unfortunately, that is going to hamper Mercedes, especially in the constructor standings as we move to it in just a second. The gap is now down to 70 points in the standings, which still seems like quite a lot, but that's still a lot. That's still not comfortable at all for us today. But unfortunately, when coming out of this race with no points, it's going to affect us in the driver position as well. But guys, yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy the race nonetheless. A very action-packed Grand Prix. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel already. And I'll see you guys next time when we need to get our head down in Japan and try and get a win. Take care all. Peace.